Inuarata no Sahae remains my amiable name, and I'm so delighted and elated to come your way this morning and make your day a premium value one. Now, on the series of psychological safety that we have been on, our focus today is 4 strategic ways to ensure psychological safety as a boss. 4 strategic ways to ensure psychological safety as a boss. Now, psychological safety is about creating a workplace, a work environment where employees or team members of that workplace have the opportunity or the platform to be able to share ideas, make contribution. They are able to report mistakes and errors without the fear of being shamed or without the fear of being embarrassed. And that at the end of the day, ensure that every team member, every employee brings their A game to the table, and then you have a succeeding or a growing organization. 4 strategic ways to ensure psychological safety as a boss. Now, it is very important that as a boss, as a leader, you create an atmosphere where people have the freedom, they have the liberty to be able to contribute ideas, contribute innovation, be able to point out errors, report mistakes that they have made without fear of being shamed, without fear of being embarrassed. And the number one way you do that is for you as the leader to model vulnerability and humility. Now, it is a show of great leadership quality for you as the boss, to let the people understand that you don't know it all. You are not omniscient. You are not all-knowing. You know in part. And when you make mistakes, own up to these mistakes. When you, make errors, own up to these errors. If you decide to show yourself as infallible, if you decide to show yourself as perfect, now the negative effect of that is that you are going to have team members that will be hiding the errors they make. They will be hiding their mistakes because you have used the body language, you have used your action and inaction to show to them that errors are not tolerated here. We don't make mistakes here. It is a 100% infallible, affair. And, at the end of the day, just like I said just now, you are going to see a situation where team members will be, sweeping their errors under the carpet. They'll be covering up their mistakes. And at the end of the day, when that implodes, it is going to be very devastating for your business or organization. So, as a team leader, the number one way to drive psychological safety in the workplace is for you as a leader to model, vulnerability and humility. The second way is for you to encourage questions without shaming. This is just so important. Any workplace, any system or any team whereby team members are afraid to ask questions for more clarifications, any system, any workplace where team members are not given the opportunity or the platform to ask questions for more clarifications over work matters, such a workplace, such a team does not have a future. Why? Team members are going to be making decisions based on assumptions. And assumption-based decision is going to always negatively boomerang on the team. It's going to negatively affect the team. So as a leader, it is very important that, you give room for team members to ask questions or clarifications. When you are holding a team meeting, as you discuss, as you move from one phase of the meeting to the other, it is important for you to solicit for questions so that, people will get clarifications on what is expected of them, what they should do, what they should avoid. And at the end of the day, you have a productive team, as a result of the psychological safety you have created. The third one is for you to enforce respectful communication consistently. Enforce respectful communication consistently. Don't tolerate a culture whereby people are talked down on. Now, everybody should have this culture in the system whereby, there is dignified communication, there is respectful communication, position notwithstanding. When you see that a particular team member or employee, is being talked down on, interrupt that and do everything possible to drive a culture of dignified communication where everybody is spoken to with respect. And when this is in place, when this kind of psychological safety is in place, team members are going to have the confidence to always bring their contribution to the table. They will always bring their observation to the table, and that is for the progress and advancement of your organization. Remember, we are looking at 4 strategic ways to ensure psychological safety as a boss. The 4th one is for you to create a blame-free learning environment. Create a blame-free learning environment. Now, mistakes are part of work. People will make mistakes. But what makes you a great leader is how you respond to a mistake, or respond to mistakes that employees make in the organization. Even you, the boss, do make mistakes. So your response should be very strategic. And the strategic response to mistakes and errors of team members is for you to use those mistakes and errors as data points for improvement, not a tool for punishment. No, you should sit down and ask yourself, how do we make improvement? How do we ensure that this is not repeated, in the future? This is very, very important. Create a blame-free learning environment. People should understand that, they will not be victimized if they, take, initiative, that will help to advance the cause of the organization. And if in the course of taking that initiative, mistakes are made, errors are made, team members should understand that, they will not be victimized. This will help you, a long way to create a psychologically safe environment that will make every team member to bring their A game to the table. We have just discussed 4 strategic ways to ensure psychological safety as a boss. The first one I said, model vulnerability and humility. The second one, encourage questions without shaming. The third one, enforce respectful communication consistently. Then the last one, create a blame-free learning environment. I believe strongly that profound value, premium value for that matter, have been added to you today. My email is right there on the screen for you to send your inquiries, your questions across. And trust me, as I always do, I provide, the needed answer, and then we're able to build a better workplace for you, a better team for you, and then make you an outstanding and amazing leader that is always achieving the goals and objectives of his, system or workplace. I'll be seeing you next week, Wednesday. When I return, I'll remain the amiable. Ino agata no sahai. Your day is so blessed. Thank you.